one side of the game. The other side is what we always said. Yeah, we tried to blame Rumsfeld for, and others, of course, especially the lawyers, for what they've done in conducting the torture program. But we don't have to forget that this is not about universal jurisdiction. This is about territorial jurisdiction and about personal jurisdiction. We have many European countries right now with pending lawsuits because of their involvement in the U.S. torture program. So we have ongoing trials in Italy, in Spain. We have even now in Bosnia, in Poland, we have brave prosecutors who are investigating against their own officials. We have parliamentary inquiries. We have criminal investigations in Denmark, in Holland, in many other countries.
Can you explain a few of these? Because I think there's very little sense in the United States of what goes on outside of the United States.
You know that the CIA rendition program was called by one investigator of the Council of Europe a spider's web. So this is to demonstrate the power of the CIA, like covering the whole world with their stations and using air bases all over the world to kidnap people, to torture them, and to bring them anywhere.
By rendition, you're referring to extraordinary rendition.
I'm referring to the CIA extraordinary rendition program. So that's on one hand, this really seems like a very powerful demonstration. On the other hand, they leave traces. Everywhere they act, there is jurisdiction on their actions. So they acted in Italy, for example. They kidnapped a Muslim clerk, Abu Omar, and brought him to Egypt, where he was really brutally tortured. And a brave prosecutor in Italy investigated the case, and now is standing on trial against not only CIA agents, but also against the heads of the Italian Secret Service who helped the CIA.
But the CIA agents, of course, are not there. They're being tried in absentia.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? It means they can never return to
Italy? They can never return. There are arrest warrants, like there are arrest warrants in Germany against 12 CIA agents. So
what happened here in Germany?
In Germany, it's all because of the case of Khaled el-Masri, a German citizen who was kidnapped in Macedonia and then brought to Afghanistan and then returned to Germany. But what this means is 4 years ago, everybody said suing a lawsuit against U.S. CIA agents, against U.S. militaries, never brings you anywhere. And 4 years later, we find ourselves in a situation where we have to say, this is of course not enough, but this is more than nothing. A lot has been happening. So many lawyers, many prosecutors, many judges in several European countries took action. And I think there is more to come up. And it depends very much. There is much hope on the Obama administration, but it will depend very much if there is really something going on in the U.S. If not, I guess there will be more and more lawsuits here in Europe.
Wolfgang Kaleck, your first lawsuit against Rumsfeld in 2004, that was thrown out by the German government.
Yeah, that was a nice one because we filed the lawsuit in late 2004 and they were somehow revising our complaint because it was a very strong, long complaint. And Rumsfeld announced at a certain point that he wouldn't come to Germany because of that pending lawsuit. And he wanted to come to the Munich Security Conference on 11th of February in 2005. And so the German prosecutor filed the dismissal on the 10th of February 2005, 1 day before, so that Rumsfeld could attend the Munich Security Conference, which he did. So that was...
Was the U.S. bringing a lot of pressure to throw this out?
Yeah, it seems so. It seems so, because there were also upcoming visits of Condoleezza Rice and re-elected President George Bush by that time. This attitude of the Germans, which was obviously politically motivated, gave us a fair chance to file a new lawsuit in 2006, where actually not only the Center for Constitutional Rights and we, the Germans, filed the case, but 50 organizations all over the world backed the case. And so, yeah, you know that the case gained a lot of public attention and also initiated a discussion that international justice has to be more than special justice for fallen dictators from southern countries or special tribunals for Africa. If international justice wants to be taken serious in the future, it has to go after the powerful perpetrators also of the West and the North.
Wolfgang Kaleck, we're sitting here in a studio in Berlin, East Berlin to be exact. For those who are listening on radio, you can go to our website at democracynow.org. You'll see the backdrop of this broadcast, significant buildings and monuments in Berlin. Can you talk about your concern against the backdrop of this history? Give us a quick one-minute tour of Berlin and its significant places. Even in the break, we were playing Bertolt Brecht's three-penny opera, the Knife, the significance of Bertolt Brecht here, a theater right around the corner.
Yeah, you know, we're facing the victories column where Barack Obama gave a speech in July, and this was actually a demonstration of war because, yeah, Germany was leading many wars in the past.
And we're showing that backdrop right now. This was where the significance of that place where Barack Obama spoke.
Berlin is full of monuments of war, and the Brandenburg Gate was the place just where we're sitting here. That was the first demonstration of Adolf Hitler when he was elected as a chancellor. So we have dealt a lot with impunity, and actually, you know, the whole chapter of the Nazi crimes was never really challenged by German justice. So maybe we, the Germans, are not the best persons to tell others how to tackle impunity, but some of us learned a lot during the last years.
And the significance of the wall coming down that divides where we are, East Berlin, from West Berlin, that many people don't even refer to East and West anymore, thinking of it as one united city, now the government back here at the Reichstag.
No, that's the interesting thing for us with the fall of the wall is that it showed that history is open, and sometimes things may happen that you haven't expected years before, and that's, you know, what we are also experiencing with our work against impunity in Southern America, because we deal with cases against Chilean and Argentinian military officers where 30 years after the crimes during the dictatorships in the 70s, these people now find themselves on trial. And so this is our hope, that the continuous work of human rights organization, of lawyers, organization all over the world will at some point result in investigation and prosecution against US torturers.
Well, I want to thank you very much for being with us today. Wolfgang Kaleck is General Secretary of the European Center of Constitutional and Human Rights. As we wrap up our trip through Sweden and Germany, we'll be back in New York on Monday, and we'll be dealing with the issue of extraordinary rendition there as well. Democracy Now! Is produced by a remarkable team of people. I want to thank Mike Burke and Truffaut Belkadus and Nicole Salazar and Steve Martinez and Hani Massoud and Angelique Ahmed and Aaron Mate, Robbie Karen as well, Becca Staley, and all the folks that make this broadcast possible. I want to also say special thanks to Dennis Moynihan and my mother, Dorothy Goodman, who helped with this broadcast. You can go to our website at democracynow.org to read the transcripts, to get the video and audio podcasts. There we also live stream. This is our last day in Europe. I'll be speaking tomorrow night in Munich and then back to New York on Sunday. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.